Hello, welcome back to Sarah's Rhythm. It has been quite a while, but I am back. I am back to do more reviews, talk about music, and it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year, but Happy New Year. I hope you had a great holiday season. I sure did. But I am back. I am back to talk to you guys. I miss talking to you guys. So let's get to it today. In this video, I am going to give you my favorite girl groups and boy bands of the past. And I am going to give some reasons why I feel that this is not a trend anymore and why this has phased out. Now, even if you stretch back to even the 60s, we had the Temptations, the Supremes, we had Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Isley Brothers, and the Jackson 5, Jodeci, Total, Boys to Men, the Spice Girls, TLC. In the 80s, we had New Edition, DeBarge, we had even rap groups like NWA. We had rock groups like Metallica and Kiss and the Rolling Stones and we had all of that. And we don't have that anymore. We had SWB, Escape, H-Town. Like the list goes on. The list goes on. And of course, I cannot forget Destiny's Child. But Destiny's Child, 1996 was when Destiny's Child came out. They were my favorite. They were my favorite growing up. I've been a fan of Beyonce since Destiny's Child. So, of course, I have to list them as my favorite. But Destiny's Child launched the career of Beyonce, the greatest of all time. But yeah, all of that, I kind of miss having groups, even though we love solo artists. And solo artists, I think we love solo artists the most. But we need a few groups. We need a few groups. B2K, 3LW, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. Where are the groups like this? But here are some reasons that I feel that we no longer have this. And one reason is these record companies just don't want to pay multiple people. They're cheap. They're cheap. And with music, music sales are not where they used to be. People are streaming music now and they're not really buying as much music. So I think these record labels are not making as much money. So they don't want to pay multiple people, and they just feel, okay, we can have less groups and we can just pay one person. We can pay one person. We don't have to spend so much money on multiple people. We can just develop one person. But artist development is not where it used to be either. A&R, that's going out the window, but that's for another video. I think I might do another video on that. But yeah, record labels being cheap. Another reason is marketing. They don't want to spend their time marketing and promoting 5 people or 4 people. They just want to do one. They want to spend their time developing that one person, promoting that one person, taking around that just one person. They don't want to spend the extra time. Laziness. Also, groups don't stay together. They don't stay together. Group dynamics are bad. Like in most of those groups that I named, one or all want to go solo. And especially if there's one group member that's the most talented, like Beyonce in Destiny's Child. The Beyonce of the group. That's where that phrase came from, the Beyonce of the group. Usually in a situation like that, that person is eager to go solo, and that breaks up the group. Or they just don't get along and they don't mesh well together, especially a group like Fifth Harmony, where they ended up getting put together by X Factor. They won X Factor, and it really wasn't an organic fit. It was never an organic fit. And one thing that record labels need to do when they're putting together a group, you have to make sure that everybody in the group gets along, and the dynamic and chemistry is where it should be, because if not, there are going to be some problems. And if there's some problems where you're not getting along, then that's going to affect the group and performing together and making music together. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be a comfortable situation. And if there's fallouts in the group, then definitely it crumbles. It crumbles. And unless you're a family group like the Jacksons or the Osmonds or something like that, they usually don't last that long. They don't last that long. And record labels, they just don't want to waste time like that with groups and infighting and things like that. They don't have time for that. They want to make money, and they don't want to waste their time getting together a group, doing 2 albums, which they always usually do 2 or 3 albums, and then they're out of there. They're looking for somebody else. They probably got tired of that. And one last reason, I really don't think people are interested in them anymore. They're not interested in groups anymore. I think with having less of them, I think people's interests have sort of faded. When having girl groups and boy bands, people are just not into that. And you see where they have tried to have a few current groups. One example is June's Diary. June's Diary. They were from BET. They had a series. It was put on by Frank Gatson and Kelly Rowland. They were looking for girls to be in like a Destiny's Child type girl group. And they did form the group. They found all the women. And the show was called Chasing Destiny. And the group, they ended up calling themselves June's Diary because they were formed in June. They all won the competition in the month of June. But they were very talented. They all could sing. They had really great chemistry together. And I don't understand what happened. Like, I just think that group was sort of abandoned by management. And there were some rumors that Kelly Rowland sort of abandoned the group. But I just think I think it was a promotion issue. It could have been a promotion issue, but I was sort of rooting for them because their music was so good. And then they came out with an EP in 2018 that I really liked, but I was rooting for them. But I wish that they could have worked out. But they have tried to put together girl groups and boy bands, and some of them work out and some of them don't. Now one that I think is really good is Flow. They're from the UK, and it seems like the groups that are working out, the ones that have staying power in the music industry now, are from the UK. That's not fair. That is so not fair. But I guess the music industry over there is I guess they do a better job at it because when we try to do it over here, it just falls apart. It just falls apart. I don't know what happens with that. But Flow, all of them have such great voices. They flow really nice together. they're also like a Destiny's Child type of girl group. They're trying to do that type of thing, and I really like all of them. They just came out with their debut album late last year in 2024, and I have been bumping that. I should do a review for it. I'm gonna do a review for it, but I have been bumping that ever since it came out. Every single song from top to bottom is a banger. Every song is a banger. But if you have not heard it, what are you waiting for? Go listen to it. It's called Access All Areas. But Flow, I think Flow, they're on their way to being very popular. And another group which is from the UK, that I think is pretty good is No Guidance. Now, I have talked about them before on this channel. I have mentioned them as a group that you need to get to know, a group that you need to check out. But I did it in one of my YouTube shorts. But definitely go check out their music. They just came out. Well, they just came out with an EP before they lost one of their members. They went through a lineup change. But the new member that they got, Ishan, he can really sing. He can really sing. And from what I know about Ishan, he used to do Michael Jackson impersonations, and I think he was in Motown the Musical. I might be wrong, but very talented singer. So they really did their thing when they got the replacement for from the group member that left. But they're called No Guidance. No Guidance, like the Chris Brown song. But you need to check them out too. I think they have potential of being really big. But both of those groups, they're starting out. But I like them. I have some faith in them. I have faith in them. But I really hope that groups come back. They might not come back in the way that they used to be, to where we had so many of them and it was so much competition. I think solo acts are going to be the main thing, but I hope that in some fashion, groups do make a comeback. I hope that the music industry, finds a way to make that happen. It'll probably happen, especially if people start buying music as much again. But music streaming is here. It's here to stay. So I don't know about that. But thank you so much for watching. I am Sarah, and this is Sarah's Rhythm. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. But that's all I got for today. Have a great day.